For a long, long time, a storm has been brewing in the Middle East. But this isn't a conflict fought on open battlefields. No, this one has been fought in the shadows. And today, we're going to pull back that curtain and really try to understand the forces that are pushing these old adversaries right out into the open.
From shadows to open fire. I mean, that's the big question, isn't it? How close is the Middle East to a much wider war? You know, these tensions that have been simmering for so long, they've finally boiled over. And it's got the whole world asking, how did we get to this point? And maybe more importantly, what in the world happens next? Well, the answer, it's buried in a long, complicated history that's been playing out just under the surface.
So, let's start there. Section 1, the Long Shadow War. Look, to really get a grip on the danger we're all facing today, we absolutely have to look back. We've got to decode the strange rules of the game that have defined this whole confrontation for decades.
And that brings us to this idea of a shadow war. So what is it? It's basically a conflict that stops just short of, conventional all-out war. Instead, it's fought through proxies, through cyber attacks, and all sorts of covert operations. Think of it less like a boxing match and more like a really intense chess game. The main players have avoided punching each other directly for years, choosing instead to use other pieces on the board to fight their battles.
So, in the real world, what does that actually look like? Well, for decades, these tensions have been simmering through these indirect confrontations. We're talking about supporting proxy groups in places like Syria, Lebanon, and Yemen. We're talking about launching these really sophisticated cyber attacks on critical infrastructure or carrying out secret operations. And every single move is designed to have plausible deniability, right? But when you add them all up, man, they've built up so much pressure. It's like steam in a sealed pot just waiting to blow.
Okay, so what happens when that pot does blow? What happens when the shadows pull back? That brings us to our next section, the clash of military might. We've got to look at the very real, very powerful military hardware that each side has, because that's what's on the table when this thing finally moves out into the open.
And when you look at them side by side, the contrast is pretty stark. On one hand, you have Israel. They've got a smaller but technologically superior military, packed with advanced Western fighter jets and tanks. On the other hand, Iran counters that with sheer size, a huge conventional ground force, plus a massive and growing fleet of drones and what they call asymmetric naval assets. Just picture swarms of small, fast attack boats designed to overwhelm a much bigger, more advanced navy.
So, what this comparison really shows is a conflict of asymmetry. It's technology versus scale. See, this isn't a mirror image fight at all. It's a total clash of military philosophies. Israel, being a smaller nation, bets everything on technology and its super sophisticated, multi-layered defense systems to give it that qualitative edge. But Iran, with its massive size and population, plays a different game. It leverages its scale and its single most important strategic weapon.
And that weapon is its absolutely extensive arsenal of ballistic missiles. When you look at this chart, you can see why this is their ultimate trump card, their ultimate tool of asymmetry. It's how they can bypass a superior air force and hold pretty much any target in the region at risk. It creates this powerful deterrent and gives them the ability to hit back and hit back hard.
All right, so we've got the history, we've seen the hardware. That brings us to the brink of escalation. But how does a shadow war actually turn into a hot war?